All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks. This is a 2-0 team. They're currently number 1 in the NFC West, and this team is so competent. They are so capable, and now finally they are well coached in the sense of coordinators, head coach specifically Mike McDonald, but they're sitting here at 2-0. And the first win at home against the Denver Broncos, the second win on the road against the New England Patriots in overtime. I guess maybe you can make this make sense, folks. I was reading the PFT, Pro Football Talk power rankings today. They have the Seattle Seahawks clocking in. First off, take a guess. All 32 teams in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks are 2-0, right? Guess where Seattle clocked in at? If you answered 21, you're correct. This is extremely bizarre. Seattle Seahawks are currently undefeated, and I get it, man. You're playing Denver, you're playing the New England Patriots in the second week. Like, I get it. On paper, those aren't the two most impressive victories, but look around the league. For example, the Cincinnati Bengals were way ahead of the Seattle Seahawks. Cincinnati Bengals were 16th in this power ranking, and the whole point of this video is not power rankings, but the NFL genuinely hates the Seattle Seahawks, and I made a tweet about this today and unfortunately got no likes, guys. The link to my Twitter is down below in the description, but it just baffles me, and it's not even that bad of a thing. I'm a Packers fan, so I keeping it a buck. Seattle ranking 21 in the power rankings, it doesn't do too much for me. That's wrong, because from an NFL standpoint, I don't understand it. I just really don't. And I used Cincinnati as an example because they lost to the Patriots in the first week of the season, and they're 0-2, and they're freaking 16th according to that. But Seattle, ever since I started covering the National Football League, they're just so overlooked. Not underlooked. Kind of a little bit of both, but you get the point. You get the gist. It's almost midnight here in Clearwater. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. If you haven't already, be sure hit that like button. Let's try and get it to 250 likes in tonight's video, folks. I've had a couple of pops, if you can't tell here. So this is more of a rant ramble video. 2 weeks into the season, you can look at a multitude of different teams. You can look at the Ravens. You could look at the Bengals that we just mentioned. A lot of teams look really bad. And I get it that the Seattle Seahawks, technically their first 2 wins were one-possession games. But as we know, football is a game of inches. A win is a win at the end of the day. And, if you take a look at San Francisco, CMC just hit the IR. Deebo Samuel's going to miss a couple of weeks. I said it in this offseason. A lot of you Seahawks fans agreed with me. I have a personal bias to the San Francisco 49ers because they always take down my Packers when it matters the most, pretty much for my entire life. But this is the year, in my opinion. The GM and the coaching staff and the personnel group, you've had numerous consecutive excellent drafts. And Gino Smith, we alluded to this in the video this past week, our last Seahawks video. Gino does not lose you football games. He will not lose you a football game. This past week against, folks, an extremely underrated New England Patriots defense. Extremely underrated defense. The only thing they are lacking is household names. You saw it on Sunday. It's a talented, competent, competitive defense. They are the second best scoring defense in the NFL since last November. I get it. It's not that crazy of a sample size, but Patriots still have a really good defense. You're 2-0. Gino Smith, 33 of 44, 324 yards, a touchdown, 0 interceptions. You were without one of the best running backs, at least one of the best young running backs in the National Football League, in Kenneth Walker. You're dealing with right tackle issues. But most importantly, man, this defense, I get it. They just gave up 185 yards rushing to the New England Patriots. Is week 2, man. I'm not freaking out too much. So I was reading an article. I think actually we made a video around this time last week around an article from Michael Sean Duger over at The Athletic. I wish I could make a video just based on this dude's article because he hammered home every single phenomenal point. The Seahawks are off to a phenomenal start. They're number 1 in the NFC West, and they're about to get tested here in a couple of weeks with some nice defenses. You got the Miami Dolphins this upcoming weekend, Sunday afternoon. Tua's injured. So hopefully that's an easy win. We'll deal with that when the time comes. I'm not trying to get into it, but you get the point. Like, you got the Lions, the Giants, the 49ers, the Falcons, the Bills, the Rams, and then your bye week. Like, just like all 31 other teams in the NFL, we're about to see what this team is truly capable of. But one thing that's just for certain is this defense. It really is, man. And when you watch it, you just know immediately. This defensive back room, folks, it's loaded. Reek Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, Trey Brown. They want to be the best in the NFL, and they're off to a really good start, man. I get it. The first two opponents, Denver and New England, they don't have the best receiving room, but Seattle's defensive backs have allowed just 141 yards to wide receivers, which is one of the best marks in the entire NFL. According to Next Gen Stats, Woolen has been targeted 10 times as the nearest defender. He's allowed 4 catches for 31 yards. He picked off Bo Nix in week 1. He's allowed a passer rating of 8.8. Yep, you heard that correctly. Devin Witherspoon, coming off a phenomenal, underrated, undercovered rookie season, just like the whole Seahawks team. He's a beast. He has 1 pass breakup on 10 targets. He's given up just 25 yards on 5 receptions. Opponent pass rating of 56.3. And then you have Trey Brown, and Trey Brown's so intriguing to me because this is one of those kids who last year is not going to show up in the stat sheet. Like, to be honest with you, a lot of defensive players don't show up on the stat sheet because most people are looking at 2 metrics. They're looking at sack count and interceptions. And as we know, those aren't the only 2 things that make you a good defensive player. Trey Brown has surrendered 3 catches for only 35 yards on 6 targets, 1 pass breakup. His opponent passer rating when targeted is 68.1. I get it. Like, folks, I really do get it. Denver and New England don't have the best quarterbacks. They don't have the best receiving room in the NFL. But if this holds, Seattle is genuinely, easily, at worst, a top 10 defensive group with the potential to be even better, top 5. Left tackle play, Charles Cross, 76 snaps in pass protection. He is not allowed a quarterback pressure. One of the only 3 tackles to play at least 40 pass blocking snaps without allowing a pressure this season. In fact, Gino Smith ranks top 10 in pressure rate, which is a problem that definitely needs to be addressed relatively soon. But you look at the right guard, you look at the right tackle injuries, and it's like, all right, it makes a little bit of sense. Zach Charbonnet this past weekend, 38 carries, 14 carries, 38 total yards. This game was all Geno Smith, in my opinion. Obviously, Zach Charbonnet had a nice little touchdown. He had a couple of catches, 5 catches for 31 yards. But, like, folks, a healthy roster, a healthy offensive line with Geno Smith, who's not losing you any football games, paired up with Jason, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jake Bobo, nice tight end in Noah Fant, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, new offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. Like, the Seahawks, to me, are easily a top 15 offensive group, and they are easily a top 15 defensive group. And what that correlates to me in a division where the Rams are injured, the Cardinals are young. They looked good in week 2, so we'll wait and see how that goes. But they're still young group. And then you have San Francisco, who, like I said, I think they've hit their peak. We've said this all summer. If you go 3-3 in divisional matchups, the Seattle Seahawks are easily winning 10 football games. And, you know, if they can take one against San Francisco, especially this injured San Francisco team, I don't think it's inconceivable they win the division. This rant video late on Tuesday. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. But folks, especially my Seahawks fans watching this video, what are your thoughts from 2 weeks in to your regular season? Let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you soon.